YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we got some more bits for the Hyper VS Nitro. So we've got the OP-0046 and 0045, and they are the rear and the front uprated springs. And I must admit these are a little bit weak, the stock ones. So let's get these swapped over. So first things I'm going to do is under this one and this one, we're going to swap the front ones. Don't forget the silver ones are reverse thread, so don't try and turn them the normal way to back them out, else you'll strip your threads. So we'll get both these bottom bolts out and see where we go from there. So once you've got your shock bolts out, you got to get them up to the top, and we basically want to release both these catches, which is probably going to be a pain in the backside, just doing it with me with one hand. But there we go. And then if you slide these up, you can then slide the spring off them, and then we're going to want to slide this up. I'm going to need both hands, I think, to get to this. Yeah, but yeah, you basically want to slide that up and off the shock shaft on both sides, and then you should be able to slide the stock spring straight out. So we'll get that done. Get back so right, I'll show you one of these up close. So you can see they cut out all the way down them, which means you can just slide the spring back and get them off. Next thing, you're going to want to wind these off. Now I'm not sure if the uprated springs are thicker, so I don't know if these will go back on, but you just spin them and then they come off, and then you can remove the stock springs. So let's see if we can do it again. So if you just work that round, you can get them off, and then get the stock spring off. It's a good time to check, see if your shocks are leaking. You can just pull those covers off, make sure they're not leaking, make sure these covers aren't split anywhere. They all look fine. That's one of his spring ends trying to escape. Right, so we need to get the front ones, which are the shorter of the two. So I'll get them open and see how they line up with the stock shocks. Right, so that's the uprated shock springs compared to the standard. And it does look like the diameter will fit on the stock shockers. So next thing we've got to do is get that little catch onto there. So I'll see if that'll fit on these as well. Right, so that's the little retaining clips on. And you just want to move them round a little bit, just so they're not too close to the end. Now what we need to do, we're going to have to pull these back, pull that rubber cover back a bit, and get these back on. So we'll crack on. So that's the front ones fitted. It does seem to have stood it up a little bit, that. So I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. So we'll have to get this out running and see what difference it's made to the handling. Now we need to do the same with back. So again, drop these two out. That one again is reverse thread. So let's get them off. So again, same as front. You got the little clips that you need to release. And these are a bit longer shockers, so it's usually a bit easier to get these off. But again, slide the spring up, and then through that little gap you want to push that up and over your shock shaft and get the bottoms off. And then we need to remove these little clips and put them onto the new springs. I can confirm they do fit on the rear as well, on the stock shockers. So next thing, we need to compress this down and slide the shock end covers back on, and make sure you've got these clips facing outwards. And again, you just want to wind them round so they're not working off the end of the spring. Right. So that's the springs fitted back on. So next thing, we got to drop them back down and get them back into position. And again, on the rear, depends whether you want the innermost or outermost holes. Really depends on how you want your car to handle. If you're on a track that's not so jumping, you find it tipping, might be worth taking some preload off. That'll drop your car, or you can move the springs further out and that'll also help it drop down. It does tend to change. The further out you go, the less likely it is to roll. But then you can also alter the roll centre as well. So it's worth looking up to see what all those settings do, and then you can make your mind up if you want it to, if you want your car to handle that way or not. On this one, I think again we're going on the centre ones. So let's get them back in. The black screw goes in this side, and the silver one in this side. Remember again, the silver's reverse thread. Right, so that is the orange shocks, shock springs, sorry. They're both OP-00, and the rears are the 46, the front's the 45s, and I can confirm they do fit perfect on the standard shockers on the Hobao Hyper VS Nitro. So thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like and subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can see when we put the other videos up. We have got quite a few parts coming for the Hobao Hyper VS. Unfortunately, I believe some of them are out of stock till the 10th of March. So it may be later in the year when we get these, but due to lockdown we can't get out and run it anyway. So catch you guys again next time.